Are we live? Control panel, select stream. We are live. Hello. All right, so if you just came to this as a video, or if you're gonna stop by and then go rewind to see what we're doing, well, I plan on downloading a lot of repositories or installing them or whatever the technical term is. I plan on going to GitHub, which is the open source place of the world, and saying, give me all. Now, I've watched many videos, very many videos of, to make a long story short, people who know what's going on warning that you should be careful. You should be extremely careful. And I don't know what everything, I don't know what all the precautions are to be careful, but I know that, you should learn those precautions, and that's what today is about. So, what I want to do is create a skill on Claude called quarantine. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just that. It doesn't have to be a thing where, like a quarantine, literally you get a thing, or comes in, you just put it in its own little place far away from your system. It doesn't have to be that. It just has to be something that properly goes over the repo, keeps it, keeps it a little bit at a distance. It's going to be on my system, so it's not really a full quarantine, but something kind of like that, just to make sure that I don't, lose everything. Somebody comes in, hacks, steals my entire life. That's the point of today. And so far, what I've done is I've only asked a simple question, and you'll see I have, we'll just go over things together, and if anyone who joins actually knows some stuff, has some suggestions, please let me know. Still in the ideation phase of all this. Coming up with the idea, okay. All right, so this is what I asked. That I plan on installing many random repositories and testing. Yeah, audio is good. I need to make sure the audio is good. Okay, yes, confirmed. All right, back to what I was saying. Plan on installing many random repositories and testing all sorts of applications, which is why I need a quarantine skill, similar to the concept of Sand, which is another one of my skills, by the way, which provides almost unfettered access but hides sensitive data. I want a sandbox arena on my PC. There are multiple ways to achieve this goal, which is simply to separate sensitive data, code, and files from non-sensitive ones. That's not exactly quarantine, by the way, but that's probably what the feasible approach is. You're gonna have full-blown quarantine. But then also, so I said either I secure and encrypt select data, but this makes it difficult to roam completely freely on my own PC, or I sandbox anything coming from GitHub. So what my rationale here is basically I'm thinking I could just secure everything really, really well, or I could just block all of the points of access coming into it, and then I can just kind of go do whatever I want on my system, continue to click around when I have stuff, leave stuff lying around, And so that's what today is about, kind of cybersecurity. Now, I am worried about one thing, which is Fable notoriously will just stop if you ask it stuff about cybersecurity and security related stuff, even though it's the best at it, mythos level capabilities, right? So we have to kind of navigate around that and figure out how to not say certain words. So I'm not going to say cybersecurity, or I'm not going to say like prevent hacking, because then it'll just trigger like we can't do this, and then it goes to Opus and ruins everything. So that's something that's going to be a little interesting, and I'm going to use words like quarantine as opposed to secure me. That's basically what we're doing. All right, so one thing that may not have made sense is the Shuf Sand skill. What Shuf Sand is, just for anyone who doesn't know, because it's kind of important to the context, is it's this extension skill. So I have this, hold on, I'll show you. Okay, so I have this skill over here, which I made, which basically just gives Claude access to my actual Chrome, which is logged in to my actual Google accounts. Now, that's great, but I don't want Claude to always have access to everything all the time. Maybe it makes a mistake, right? Maybe I do something wrong, I make a mistake, and I prompt it to do something wrong. Either way, what if you just had Google, same thing, a browser that isn't connected to all my accounts? As a matter of fact, that's really easy. That you can just open a new Google instance, and so it opens up the sandbox. Now, if I ask it to use Shuf, it just controls with full DOMs controls Google. But if I tell it to use Shuf Sand, it does what a lot of other extensions do, by the way, which is it opens up a new instance of Google, basically a new tab, a new Google tab. And you'll see that it doesn't have my settings. It doesn't even have the same color. Like I chose this color. You can see like this, like chocolate brown color here. It doesn't even have that. It's just gray. So that's a sandbox, right? And that's basically what I'm trying to achieve. Again, not exactly what the word quarantine means, but I feel like quarantine is a really good word because it conveys that message, which is I'm just trying to separate, potentially harmful code from my code, everything that's on my PC, somehow, until I'm sure, absolutely sure that it's not gonna harm me in any way. Okay, you can go back. I think now you have full context. I've kind of repeated myself a bunch of times, but that's okay. Now you know exactly what's on my mind. And so I got some suggestions. Telling it gave me like tiers. So these are the 3 tiers that I could go with. Windows Sandbox, built into Pro. Windows Sandbox disposable Hyper-V isolated Windows that resets on close, kernel level isolation. So this is a full-blown actual sandbox, like creates a whole new Windows? No. Built into Pro. Is that even possible? Does it create a full Windows? Downside, ephemeral by default, state dies on close, so a WSB config can map a persistent folder and no GPU heavy or nested virtual workloads. Yeah, I think it is a full-blown new Windows. Interesting. Okay, the next one, a persistent Hyper-V VM. Is that virtual machine? Arena, same isolated strike, but keeps state so you can accumulate installed tools, checkpoints to roll back after each experiment. This is what I'd actually build for you, for your use case, okay? WSL2 plus dedicated distro, great for Linux repos specifically, and cheap to nuke and re-import. Weaker story for Windows apps. Yeah, I don't want to get into Linux, because if something works on Linux, it might not work on Windows, vice versa. So just stay on one system and avoid confusing me. A second Windows user account. Isn't that what we've been talking about? I don't even know what's going on now. Not enough. Same kernel, and half your secrets are readable. What I'd propose, quarantine skill, Hyper-V VM, like Arena. Yeah, so this stuff doesn't really make that much sense to me, so I'm just gonna ask some questions. I'm say quick. Are these proposals all suggesting a true second arena? And I'm going to say like a separate OS, question mark. Or is there another way preferably one which does not involve too much complexity, but still truly, I don't want to say truly, still offers a similar level, maybe not similar, offers separation, offers separation, separation from, separation of code. All right, that's good. That's good. I made it quick just because I want to read more about this stuff. So I'm still in the learning phase of this. I'm still in the ideation phase. Discovering things, learning things, finding out things, which is the same as discovering things, but it's different words, so there must be a difference. Okay. Only options 1 and 2 are true second OS. VM, separate windows. Okay. Later alternatives that still separate code is WSL2. I feel like I've heard that before from like programmers. WSL, I don't know. Technically a virtual machine, but zero maintenance. One command, no second windows to manage. It's a file system, can't touch C unless you cross into /mnt/C. So what I feel like that is like a directory which is just blocked off from the other directories, which is kind of exactly what I want, because it's like a quarantine, but it's not so complicated that I have an entirely different new system. If I'm right, if I'm not right, and I just invented something, I'm probably gonna go with that, but I think that's what that means. I always have this situation where I do something, and then I come up with an idea, which is just the logical next step, and I'm like, oh, I think I made something new here, you know? And then I go build it, and then I'm like, okay, this is amazing. And then I go online and I find out that somebody else built it much better a long time ago, before even vibe coding, and it's just the conventional way of doing things. And so now I know, having been down this road so many times, just don't build it. You can find it online. Chances are, if you go online with an idea, somebody else will have already built your idea, open sourced it, done a much better job, and shared it with enough people that enough people have validated that it works, because they tried it, they found the bugs, they found all the issues, and then they fixed it and they've improved it, and it's a final product, as opposed to me thinking this directory idea. WSL is something I've heard before, but I never really knew exactly what it meant. I think I know now. Probably that. Okay, Windows Sandbox, no setup at all. Disposable, but nothing persists. Yeah, I want something persistent. And persistent means basically it stays there. It doesn't just disappear when, like a local host. Like you tell it to do something in a local host, it starts a website for you, like on your, local host, and then you go into, then you close your machine, you come back, you go to that local host, it isn't there. Like, what happened? You have to like run it again. It doesn't persist. So I need something that persists. Sandboxy plus no second OS, a filter driver redirects an app's file registry writes into a container. Container is an important word because I've heard, once again, it being used. Isn't WSL a container? Wait, hold on. Does the WSL2, I'm gonna write, which I believe is like a quarantine directory, does the W basically mean we have a, and then I'm gonna put container. And the reason I'm putting these in like the comma is because I'm not really sure exactly what the technical term means. Like you can't just say a word and then expect that word to be the word. Words can have more than one meaning, and in this context, in the context of cybersecurity, it doesn't mean container, like, you know, like this container. See, this is a container. So I want to make sure that when you put it in those comments, or not the comment, the, you know what I'm talking about, hyphens, is that what it's called? And then it knows, like, okay, think about it. The extrapolation machine needs to prioritize this container word here. Does the WSL2, which I believe is like a quarantined directory, basically mean we have a container where anything inside of it cannot see anything else that is on my system? Please say yes, because if it says yes, well then all my problems were solved easily. Close. Close, I was close. Close, but one important correction. By default, WSL2 can see your entire Windows file system. It's a lightweight VM, own Linux kernel, own virtual disk. So your Windows files never live inside it, okay? But Microsoft ships it with convenience bridges wide open. That makes absolutely no sense to me. With convenience bridges wide open. See, is auto mounted at MNT. See, anything running inside can, and then you got a bunch of code, tech jargon and stuff. All right, this is where it's important to like say this quick. Say it again, and every time you use tech jargon, I'm gonna put in comma or code that or code, explain what it means. Also, try not to use too much of that jargon. Just answer the question. All right, so sometimes there's gonna be, like, you do need to learn those things, but for now, let's just get the concept. All right, see, that's what I'm talking about. It said close over here, got my hopes up, but then when I said don't use the jargon, am I correct? It said no. Out of the box, WSL2. Okay. Out of the box, WSL2 is not sealed. Here's the plain version. WSL2 is a small, real Linux computer running invisibly inside your PC. Ah. Your Windows files don't live inside it. It has its own separate disk. So far, that matches your container idea. But Microsoft ships it with 3 doors deliberately left open for convenience. Okay, so Microsoft ships this. So this is like an actual Microsoft thing for Windows people. It can read your whole C drive. How's it a container if it can read your whole C? It can read your whole C drive. Your Windows disk appears inside the Linux box as a folder. So anything running in there can open your Windows files, including your saved passwords and keys. Okay. It can launch Windows programs. It shares your internet connections. The fix. Small settings file inside the Linux box lets you shut door 1 and 2 after that. So it's like a... So I can take it and then shut those doors. And because I can shut those doors, it can act like a container. By default, it's not, but it can be repurposed to be a container. Alright, so basically, you're saying it's not a container, but it can be repurposed into one. Closing doors number 1 and number 2 makes it into a proper quarantine sandbox. Correct? Be honest. Don't just try to make me feel good. Correct. It's actually going to be a quarantine. It's going to be an actual quarantine, not just some sort of a security measure. I think we can do it. I think we can actually do this. Let's see. Before we get our hopes up, even though my hopes are already up. Let's see. Yes, closing doors 1 and 2 turns it into a proper quarantine box. And the isolation is actually strong, not a cosmetic wall. It runs on the same underlying technology as a full virtual machine, which is the level... Okay, but one thing I just thought about, it's Linux that could cause some problems. 2 caveats. Honestly stated, the internet door stays open. If you run genuinely malicious code inside and it finds anything valuable in the box, it can send it out. Fix is discipline, not settings. Never put passwords or keys inside. Yeah, that makes sense. It only runs Linux software. Most GitHub repos build fine there. But a Windows only app, that was my concern. Windows app, a Windows a Windows only app can't be tested inside it. For those, you'd fall back to Windows Sandbox or Sandboxy from my list earlier. I'm gonna say this. What is the Windows equivalent to equivalent Windows equivalent to what is it called? WLS. WSL 2. It's a Q. Should have been a W. That is full Windows boxy. It said what? Sandbox or Sandboxy. How does Sandboxy work? What are my options and alternatives? And the reason I want Windows isn't because I'm just against like Linux or something. It's just because my actual system is Windows. So I don't want to add this layer of confusion, basically. When I run something on Linux, build it, or explore the sandbox or explore this new repo, whatever, and then bring it over to Windows, and then it behaves differently because it's two different operating systems. I want to throw that out completely. I'm going to continue to use Windows, which is why I might as well choose something that is not Linux or something like this. The full Windows equivalent is Hyper-V virtual machine, a complete secondary copy of Windows running in Windows on your PC. Hyper-V is Microsoft's built-in virtualization engine. It's actually the same engine WSL2 runs on. You already have it available on Windows 10 Pro. Am I using Windows 10 Pro? I don't think I am. I've never gone pro. Oh, I am. Verified just now, Windows 10 Pro build. That means both Hyper-V and Windows Sandbox are available to you. Whoa. This is a game changer. I don't even need to install anything. I feel like there's so many things, so many features hidden in like life. They're just hidden. They're just there. Nobody knows. Well, somebody does. Otherwise, the large language model wouldn't have found out. It was trained on their data, the knowers, the people who know. Alright, let's actually read what this says. The full Windows equivalent, cool. Windows Sandbox, okay. Sandboxy works completely differently. No second window at all. The program that wraps around whatever app you launch through it. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking now. We've learned enough that I can have like a proper idea. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we use this and then just create a simple skill that whenever I say install a repo, it installs it first to this Hyper-V virtual machine, and then runs like a really strict dig through all this code and find any write or read or write capability or just code, whatever it is. And then I have to choose those words. I have to learn those words now, basically. And just like go through it. Basically go through it. Make sure there's no not vulnerability. You get the point. Basically quarantine it, go through it, make sure that it's all good. And then if it works, bring it to my system. One thing I do want to make sure is that it's not too aggressive. Like at the end of the day, you just have to not download trash, right? If something has a bunch of stars, many good reviews, it's been there for a decade, it's probably a lot safer than a new repo that has, let's say 3 stars and like 10 comments. And like all the comments are just like, this is the best repo ever, download it and make $20 million right now. So you get the point. All right, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, I'm going to ask it basically to help me with this idea for the skill. Help me through this idea. We create a new skill that automatically downloads any or no, installs any repo to the sandbox. And I put in the comma because it's the one that we already have. Where's it? Hyper-V. Means Hyper-V and Windows Sandbox are available to you. Wait, Hyper-V and Windows Sandbox. Those are two different things. Wait. Windows Sandbox is the zero setup version of the same thing. Click an icon. First disposable Windows appears in a window. Run whatever you want. Close it. Everything is destroyed. Same strong isolation. Its whole limitation is that nothing survives. Ah, I see. Hyper-V is the one that is persistent. Windows Sandbox is like if you properly just want to go for it, you know? Like build the thing that may be dangerous. Yeah, Hyper-V is the one I want because I think, wait. Yeah, that's why I need help with this ideation. Repo to the sandbox. I'm not going to call it the sandbox because they'll think I'm talking about. To the Hyper-V. Proofs it? Not proof. Runs through it. I'm just saying, no. How do I say it? I want to say like go through it and make sure it's safe. Install the Hyper-V. Checks for vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities. Abilities. And then a comma. Not a comma. It's a bracket. Read and write. Capability. Requests. I guess that is read and write. Encrypted or inaccessible code within the repo. I feel like that's what I would do if I really wanted to do like a virus. I'd probably layer codes inside of, you know, like take a thing, zip it so it's encrypted, and then inside the zip have another zip. I don't know if that's even possible, the way the encoding works. But basically make it so difficult that somebody has to download it. And the large language model simply won't know until it's too late, until it's like unzipped. And so those need to be targeted beforehand. Read and write, encrypted or inaccessible code in the repos. Okay, and now I'm going to use the reasoning. I'm going to say, or any other potential flags. Yes, I gave it two solid examples that I can use to think about, okay, this is what he means by checks for vulnerabilities. Cool. We create a new skill that automatically installs any repo to the Hyper-V, checks for vulnerabilities, and I put examples of those vulnerabilities and made it optimized to extrapolate in that direction. Then once we've made sure that it's safe, we bring it to the main system or main directory or to the main directory, unless we really don't need to. Yeah, I'm thinking because maybe some programs keep them there. It's fine. Another thing that I'm thinking of is because you know how with Open Router you can have like an API key with a daily limit of $5. So if I'm really testing stuff out myself, I'm putting it out there, and I want to have, an API key. What is not API key? It's called credential or token. Basically, they give you like the code that you use so that you can have AI. Have it on a $5 limit, and then just be careless with it. It's fine. It's easy, right? A lot easier than worrying about protecting and making sure that nobody can see anything ever. Obviously, you do that with your own system, but you know what I'm saying. The idea is sound and very buildable, with one honest correction to its middle step and one insight that makes the whole thing simpler. The correction: no scan can certify safe. Okay, cool, I get it. That's what I was talking about, obfuscated code. That's such a hackery word, no? Obfuscate. Obfuscate. That's basically what a hacker thinks like. Obfuscate. Hidden install script, network calls, encrypted blobs. Sounds like a term, even though it's a lot less sophisticated than a word like this one. Obfuscated. Okay. Blob. Catches the clumsy bad actors, and it's worth doing, but a clean scan provides absence or obvious flags. Okay, cool, I get it. The insight: most repos never need to come home. Your last line already spotted, unless we really don't need to. Flip that into default. Yeah, I'm okay with having like a manual step where I need to move something to the C drive if I really need it to be moved to the C drive. So the skill called Arena would look, okay, Arena, and then you put the GitHub. Close the repo inside the Hyper-V. Never touches your host disk. Takes a rollback snapshot first. Flag scan, run test, Arena revert. Okay, so it's giving me like the skill family logic or indexing method, which is basically, it has like one main thing, Arena, and then all the sub skills that follow it. Prerequisite mode, or prerequisite work before the skill can exist. Enable Hyper-V, one command plus reboot. Ah, so it's not enabled, it's something you enable. Create the Arena VM with a Windows evaluation copy. Take the baseline clean snapshot and set up a way for me to drive it. PowerShell direct, both on channel. Okay, so we need some sort of a bridge, basically. It doesn't need networking between them. One resource note: the VM will want 8 gigabytes of your 32 gigabyte RAM while running, and 60 to 100 gigabytes of disk for its virtual drive. Worth deciding which drive that file lives on. Interesting. Want me to start with the prerequisite step? No, not yet. So this is a full-blown quarantine. This is like actually a full-blown quarantine. Mismatch. I want to know specifically how much are we like how much time are we going to take on each one? Because right now, if you just download a repository, whatever it is, if you download something, it doesn't take any time. It just gets there, it's ready, you do whatever you want. Something like this sounds like it'll take a bunch of time because it goes to my system, but then immediately to this other machine, or maybe directly through that to the other machine. Plus, how does that work? If I'm downloading it from GitHub, I would need to kind of be logged in, or maybe I don't. things to think about or just ask about. I'm gonna ask for clarification. I need clarification. Does the download of the repo happen entirely through the Hyper-V instance? Is it an instance? I guess it is. Does the initial download, does the does that happen through a PowerShell bridge message where you prompt the Hyper-V to install the repo? So the reason I said I need clarification is because I'm not sure if I'm thinking about this correctly. Yeah, I think I am thinking about this correctly. Yes to both, and the distinction you're drawing is exactly the right one to check. The download happens entirely inside the virtual machine. Hyper-V VM. VM is virtual machine, right? What else would it be? Yeah, okay. The Arena VM has its own internet connection. Virtual network card runs its Git clone on the GitHub VM. And yes, the bridge carries only my instructions, not the files. PowerShell directly is built in Hyper-V channel that lets the host say to the virtual machine, run this command and read back the text output. So the flow is 1 on your host. I send through the bridge run git clone and then URL, and so basically that's the download. This is saying download or install or however GitHub likes to work. The VM install, the VM itself does the downloading over its own internet, so completely separate connection to the internet, I guess, even though it's the same internet. Cool. The VM sends back through the bridge just text done 214 files. Here's the flag scan reports. Okay, so we don't actually see it. It just says, okay, done. Here's the scan. So it crosses the bridge is command going, okay. Oh. Oh, wait. Okay, so here's what I'm starting to realize is we're not downloading it, scanning it, and then using it. We're downloading it over there, scanning it, and then if it's fine, we're downloading another version of it, a completely different one. So it's fine. They don't need to connect to each other. I think. Let me ask. Because if that's the case, then that's actually a lot easier than trying to move files around from one virtual machine to the other virtual machine, especially given that the way that GitHub works is it just goes, yes, I do remember you, Lego Geek. Did you tell me about FixMap? Was that you? I remember your name. Now I'm basically what I'm trying to do is make it so that I can easily download a bunch of repos. So that when people tell me to download a repo, I can just do it, you know, without worrying too much. And the reason's kind of silly. I downloaded T3. Okay, yes, that was you. I downloaded T3, and then I just clicked initialize Git, and then it went ahead and initialized Git, which I didn't know exactly what that meant. And then I went back to Claude and I saw like plus 20,000 something. I was like, oh my God, it's happening to me. Because I see all those TikTok memes or TikTok videos and the reels of somebody saying, like, look what happened. This all happened. AI messed up. I've never had that, like the plus 20,000, you know? So then I panicked. Had a mini heart attack basically. Because I have so much stuff on my computer. And then I decided, all right, we're gonna do this quarantine skill or this arena skill. And now I'm learning about something called Hyper-V or Hyper-VM, Hyper-V, where basically Windows comes packed with this ability to just have like a mini quarantine like version of it, okay? And so you download to there, run it through a bunch of scans, and then if it's okay, then you bring it back. That happens a lot, don't worry. Yeah. I guess that's a big part of this, right? I'm starting to realize now that programmers in general are just confused. They're comfortable being confused. Like there's more problems than solutions always. And then you're just sitting there talking about solutions all the time because obviously that's what you're focused on. But there's just so many problems. Everyone's building everything. All right. What am I gonna say here? Oh yeah, I just wanted to ask. I did try FixMap. I'll show you a thing. Let me just send this one prompt. So we are downloading this repo on the Hyper-V. Then, if it's safe, we download a completely separate version of it on the main one, on the main drive. Correct? It's gonna tell me nothing can be safe. Don't be safe. All right, here's what I want to show you. I removed the FixMap because it turns out like my workflow already has elements that are good, and I want to show you what it said. So basically, to make a really long story short, it's a lot cheaper FixMap, but it would slow down my Truth Sand workflow. Okay, where's still a good suggestion though. I learned some stuff. Takes 1.75 seconds to load. Yeah. No, that's not what I meant by slow down. Like spotting. Yeah, that's why I want to find this, so you can read it as well. I think it's in another one. Hold on. Ask God to list all features of FixMap and why it would be beneficial. Yeah, okay. I'll just prompt it again. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, we uninstalled FixMap because we concluded that it was and then bad. I want you to check again and give it a fair shot. Why did we end up removing it? I'm not gonna tell it that it's like slow, because then it'll just go with that vibe, right? It'll just say, yeah, oh, this is, because it'll try to make me happy. So I'm gonna say, give it a fair shot. Kind of lean more towards, like, find something beneficial from it. Let me check the actual state and the conversation we installed. And we installed it and never removed it. Yeah, so this definitely wasn't the conversation where I removed it. There was another conversation. Probably going to find that other conversation. Basically, my the workflow, the way that it works is it's I have like author plus autorun a bev, and autorun, all that does is it just re-triggers entry, essentially making sure that, because this was before Fable came out, and Fable now, you know, you can leave it running for like a solid 2 hours and it doesn't stop, but with Opus, especially back then with like 4.7, it kept stopping, right? So autorun just re-triggers entry, but then when it gets entered, it needs to prioritize something, which is bev, and bev is the bird's eye view, and then there's like a part one is success equals, and there's a centralizing text. So it goes and reads the centralizing text, and then goes down to the different phases and everything. And this is a long process, but long story short, like it's writing the code correctly the first time because there's verification. So it writes the code, makes sure that it's correct before it lets go, and then it lets go. And then because of that, you just have correct code the first time. When you do have bugs, it's few bugs. And so adding a layer of checking, looking for orphans, those sorts of things, it's just a re-verification. That's kind of what it said. It said the verification phase does that. So adding to it would just slow things down because you're re-verifying something that you already verified. Raw codecs with goal can go for 10 to 15 hours easily. Damn. My codecs is going from 7 hours straight without stopping. Codecs like GPT, right? Goal. Wait, does GPT also have skills? Makes sense though, right? Like basically fixed map solves a problem that was already solved. That's basically the verdict. But it said it in a different way. It said it in a really. I just need to find the actual because there was. Okay, so I was thinking when I first got fixed map that it would help not with my workflow, but it would help with the maps. These maps. I think you were there, like these OV widget maps. The thing about these like OV widget maps is they're not really solutions. Like these, they're just findings. And that's where I kind of messed up with in my mind when I was thinking about it. Yeah. No, honestly, very good suggestion. Because it also validates like that I'm doing something good, right? Because if I did this and I didn't know that anyone else was doing this, and then I saw someone else do it, now I'm thinking, okay, good. This is a good workflow, especially since it's out and you suggested it. But yeah, I thought it was gonna be on this, like these maps. but those are like loose findings. All right, here we go. I'll give you the take. Maybe it'll find something else because there's other features. Retest. Result 2 of 2. Top ranked on your real code. True fix file. Video curator. So this is something I'm working on now. The video curator. A fix maps rank is high confidence. Not entirely sure what that means. Let's just read here. Both were real bugs from your own history described the way you'd naturally report them. It nailed the exact fix site both times in 2 seconds. Okay. On the 12,000 file RCV3 repo 2, that's better than its own published held out numbers, 44% top 1, likely because your bug report contains distinctive vocabulary, which is exactly what a lexical ranker feeds on. Why it was removed versus what this shows. Yesterday's verdict wasn't it's inaccurate, it was it's redundant for this workflow. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. BM 25 parity on its own benchmarks, and I usually know your repos fix sites already from. I feel like I have a really bad short-term memory, but I have a good long-term memory. Okay. Update honest verdict. This is the important part. Is there something we missed? It's a good, fast, zero-cost tool that answers one narrow question well. Given this symptom, where do I look first? Its marginal value next to me remains small on repos, I know deeply, but it's not bloat as a cheap first probe on unfamiliar or large repos. And fix map verify. The post-edit scope drift check remains the piece I'd actually wire into the workflow. It's reinstalled now, and I had to reinstall it, I guess, to check. Keep it this time. If yes, I can also register its MCP server, so I can call it directly as a tool. Okay, so it did find something useful this time. First probe. Okay, so basically, wow, this actually folds very nicely into what I'm already doing. Wow, you came in at the perfect time. Things just kind of work out sometimes. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is I'm doing the quarantine thing anyway on the Hyper-V. Yep, and tell it to check all features and be surprised. Okay. I mean to say that while I tell you the plan. Great. Now check all the features for a proper rechecking. That's okay. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna use this Hyper-V, which is like a mini Windows inside of Windows, to download and install random repos and make sure that they're not gonna, infect me with a virus. What if during that time I take this fix map and also just run it through FixMap as well. Look for problems and get like a quick little report of these are the issues. That way, in addition to getting kind of a safety report on every repo or whether or not I should download it, I just get like a quick little, hey, look, these are the bugs. These are some problems. This is especially going to be useful in the coming new age of a bunch of vibe coders like me who don't know exactly what's going on, posting a bunch of, I don't want to call it slop, online for everyone, right? So yeah, this can fit there quite perfectly. Okay, let's check, like you said, check all the features. Okay, it's still running. Let me read this while that's running. Ah, wrong zoom button. I'm multitasking with four things: clicking buttons, talking, and reading and doing a lot. Copy the files out of the VM to your machine. Fresh Git. Okay, correct. Yes, so I was right about this. Yeah, I had a kind of a flawed idea of it, which is I was thinking we download it and then check. Yeah, no, I was right. Author a bev to completely set this up. Use brevity where it is applicable. Don't auto run yet. Wait for approval. Yeah, I'll come back to this later. Might as well focus on fixed map for now. Now we've found some things. Drag what? You can use split screen. Split screen, yeah. Drag the chat back to next to the current chat so you can look at both at the same time. Oh, you were there before I got the monitor. I think you were there before yesterday or something when I said I'm gonna have a monitor right here, right? And I was looking at the chat over there. Well, guess what? Got the little monitor. It's so cute. You have no idea. It's adorable because I have this monitor, which is a full vertical monitor. It's nice, okay? But then this one is also like the same proportions, but it's just tiny. And so when you look at them side by side, this one just looks so cute. Yeah, that's right. I got it, the monitor. I tried it on vertical and horizontal, and then I ended up going with vertical as well. So now I have two vertical monitors. It's nice. I also got this, I think you were also there before I changed this. I made this all black, clean. This was like white. I got like a little thing. Yeah. I'm taking this streaming thing so seriously. I even have a little app for transcripts. Dude has too many monitors. Yeah. You know those, because I'm a trader, I don't know if you know those memes of traders where it's like so many different screens and that's how you succeed. That's basically how you succeed, I'm telling you. All right. Let's go over these features. First, see if there's a good prompt, and then I'll show you after how serious I'm taking this streaming thing. Running a proper feature by feature audit. Okay, plan A, exercise each document, features on real repos with checkable ground truth. Cool. Nice. So this is basically a situation where it goes over every single feature. I think every single feature. Just to check the results. It does a bunch of stuff. It likes to give me tables, the table format, because I always ask for it. But the results are the most important thing. So let's read that section and see. Two honest caveats from the audit. The explain run classified the white bars task as non-UI and penalized the style sheet accordingly. The top answer was still right. The fix landed on TSX, but the classifier can misread visual bugs. And remote URL mode is slow on big repos. Okay, that is something that it said before, because of the extension, the Shuf and Shufsan skills already see everything, and this is for repos. Oh yeah, I just remembered. When I was prompting it, I made a mistake and then it corrected me. I said the Shuf and Shufsan skills, which are for HTML basically on the browser. But this isn't for the browser, it's for repos, which are all sorts of different code. And then it corrected me and it told me that no, this is what this is used for, but still, like it has the Claude has like the connection anyway, and you have the then the OV skill, which is the widget maps, and that's I just remembered that stuff. Okay. Revised verdict: yesterday's mostly bloat was too harsh. Okay. On your actual repos, it went 4 for 4 on ranking tests, 2 local bugs, 1 remote issue, 1 refinement, and verify proved itself again against a real historic fix. Okay. It's a legitimate, fast, zero cost. I think that's the big part, is it's zero cost. Wait, hold on. Fast legitimate, where am I? Zero cost first probe and scope drift guard. It stays installed. The natural next step, whenever you want it, is Claude MCP add fix map. How does this fold into the Hyper-V arena slash quarantine skill that we've written a bev for? I'm thinking it can be used to enhance the amount of what, due diligence? Yeah, due diligence star start. How does this fold into Hyper-V skill we've written for? I'm thinking it can be used to enhance the amount of due diligence by upgrading the report we get from just showing flags to also showing bugs. I'm gonna just say thoughts. Also, if you want, you can share it with others. Yeah, probably will. If it makes it into my workflow, definitely will. I guess it did make it into my workflow. It's already a part of the, because I'm going all in with this quarantine skill. So yeah. Oh, star, like give it a star. That's a good point. Wait, did you make this? Or do you just use it and you really like it? Okay, it read the bev. It read the bev. Bev 1, my honest take. Fix map folds in usefully, but not the way you're framing it. It cannot upgrade the repo. Cannot upgrade. Oh, let me. You made. Oh, well, you got the most honest feedback possible just now from me because I didn't know you made it. So you got the truth, right? There is a particular. Okay, that's interesting. So there is a particular place that it fits in the world. So it is useful. Still not the biggest thing ever, but yeah, no, this is perfect. You got like valid feedback. 'Cause I didn't know, and definitely I'll start. I'll do that now. But don't forget, where's the? Is there following on GitHub? Honestly, the GitHub UI sometimes confuses me. I like it. I love GitHub. I use it a lot. I can post stuff, but I just do that through Claude entirely. Thanks for it. Helped me a lot. No worries. I'll keep mentioning it. Like 5 stars right now. Nice. What do stars like? Does this because there's no recommendation. Like you don't get recommended repos from the stars. Uh, it's just like to show people that it's legit, right? Like if you have a lot of stars on your repo, wrong place. I knew I was in the wrong place. This is the right place. Fix map. I just went for it anyway, even though it was the wrong place. This one, yeah, 5 stars. This is one of those repos. Oh, okay. So there's definitely a star. Ah, there it is. Star. Thank you for sharing the repo. Genuinely. Share. And you have another repo, share it. And that's how you get stars. You just talk about it. Star technically a subscribe. Oh. So if you star someone, well, no, you don't get recommended repos, though, do you? Or maybe I just haven't clicked around enough. Issues. No worries. Deserved, well deserved. Literally made it into my workflow. And ironically, like I said, into today's workflow. That's exactly what I need today. To have like a full-fledged in Hyper-V, check everything extremely cheaply. Right? It's perfect. Yes, we do. Okay, so we do subscribe on GitHub. Huh. Yeah, I've never really clicked around. Gotta fix a few issues. Well, let me know if things are fixed so I can update uh, it on my system as well. That's the nice thing about the open source community, we'll call it, is just updating. Everyone's working on their own thing. Okay, where's the subscription stuff? Issues 98. What is this? Cool. I think, I don't know. Mentioned. No. Use Figmap Doctor for a new version. Start a subscription. Fixmap Doctor for a new version. For a new version, the star is the subscription. Totally. Yeah, I don't know if I'm blanking or if that didn't make sense. Wait, fix map. Doctor is like a thing. What if I go on your account, owner? I see fix map doctor stuff there. Oh. Ah, I can see your repos. Oh, you have a bunch of projects. What are these other projects? You can see your pull requests. You can see stuff. Fix map doctor. Oh, fix map doctor is like one of the features. Okay, that makes sense. Taj Mahal 3D. Interactive real-time 3D recreation of the Taj Mahal. And it's Charbagh complex. Okay. Interesting. Open source pressure test and local scoring for AI. Honesty under uncertainty. I like what you're doing. You're building very AI native softwares, basically. AI honesty, yeah. Random projects for learning, etc. Check out my only open sourced one so far, called Brevity. It's, to make a really long story short, it's just a combination of two existing skills that go hand in hand very nicely, which is Caveman and RTK. I'll give you like a quick little explanation of what it is and what it does, or what those two are and what they do. Okay, one of them works in for input, one of them works for output. Okay, and they are just compressors. Send the link here. Can I do that? Let me try. Um, I can. Nice, nice. Yeah. So really long story short, they're just compressors. So think about it this way: when you say words, something that's like 10 words long, that's an amount of tokens. If you can give that same sentiment with just 4 words, then what ends up happening is you just save a lot of tokens. And that's basically what this does. But there's a problem. When it comes to certain tasks, like design tasks, where you want to build, for example, a UI, UX, you want to build a front end, this is the worst skill for that. Because with design, you want more words. Like you're trying to explain a design, you say it should be minimal, right? It should be modern, it should be futuristic, it should be glass-morphic, it should be uh, simple, right? More words is better for that kind of thing. UI and design and graphic design and stuff like that. But then with just code, pure code, find the bug, fix the bug, syntax, actually super streamlined and compressed code is better. It's the difference between saying 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives you 8 versus like 2 times 4 gives you 8. The second one is compressed, which is better. Also, oh cool. Also, if you want, we can connect on LinkedIn. Sure. I have 2 people on LinkedIn. Wait, 3. Also, I start Brevity. Thank you. I think I have 2 stars on it, with including yours. Nope, that's not the case. Now I have 1. Wait, what if I refresh? I have 2. 2 stars. Now we'll keep going. Okay. Yeah, reload. I wonder if there's like a delay on the chat. There probably is. Anyway, LinkedIn. Am I still logged into my LinkedIn? Never really used it, actually. I don't know. Are you okay with being like public on the VOD? Because this is gonna stay up on YouTube. This video. If I put your profile, then it might be there. Plus, LinkedIn is like a professional place for professionals. So either extend it and I just won't put it. Yes, there's a 5-second delay. Yeah. Probably took about that long of me just looking for that to happen. St. Mary's University. This is the university I graduated from. People, hey, whoa, look, check this out. People building with AI. We're working out. We're doing stuff. People talking about AI and they're talking. This is LinkedIn vibes. Never say anything about someone that you wouldn't say to them directly, and don't try people without accusing them to their face. What? Don't try people, like trial them? Ray Dalio. I wonder if it's actually him. What a name. I'll send the connect first. Yusuf Burhama. That's how it's spelled. It's a little outdated. I stopped that company. I started a new one. Yeah, because now I'm doing websites. This is my website. Hold on. This is the website, and I fixed it also. Wasn't working before, but now it is. Now I can do this. Hold on. I can have this chart over here, and I can draw. Let me move myself up here. I can draw a line. Actually, I'll draw a rectangle. From here to here, I'll draw this, okay? And I'll type I just put a zone on the chart where on the chart, and it just knows it's connected. Rocket ship can actually see the stuff what you're engaging with the chart on, and can actually adjust stuff on the chart as well. You can accept it. Also cool website. Thank you. I found it. Mentioned, no. Me, verify. Which LM are you using behind it? Fable. I'm using Fable 5. I want to switch to Opus 5, but Right now, Fable is just better. Opus 5 does a great job, but the knowledge base needs to be adjusted if it's going to be Opus 5. Ariam Goyal. I can't find. I found it, except. If you let me check him and stalk you now. Okay, nice. We have LinkedIn. I remember that I was saying earlier, like very AI centric new softwares, completely designed for AI. Like the most basic explanation I can come up with is like when you make a website that is totally reliant on a large language model and just simply does not function without one, kind of like the website I built. uh, like that's an AI native website, in my opinion. I think maybe there's that term is used, the terminology is used a little differently, but it's kind of like, for example, with the TikTok, okay? The way that it displays videos, that's mobile native. That's only for mobile. You can't really, I mean, you could put it on a desktop, but it doesn't have the same experience. It's meant to be a thing where you swipe and you go to the next one, and it's also meant to be a thing where you record. It's a big feature, right? You record yourself. So that's like a mobile native um, app, really. What are the AI native apps going to look like? Probably like this, the website that I built, but then there's going to be different evolutions of it. Different people are going to come up with different ideas for this new AI native era. And that's where the race is, in my opinion, is can you build the app that uses large language models so effectively and seamlessly, like it's really easy that everyone just says this was how it was supposed to be used in the first place. Like that's just exactly how you use it. Right now, unfortunately, the use case is just a chatbot. Like it's always the same thing. You have at the bottom like a prompt area. You prompt and then you send it and then you get that chat, right? Evolution towards agentic engineering. So basically you prompt and then it goes and does things. But what's the next step? It's gonna be one of those things where it's so like in your face. Once it happens, it's like I can't believe I didn't think of that. Like cannot believe it. But it's gonna happen. I'm telling you. I don't know what it is, but it'll happen. It's not gonna be like voice, like hey, we have a conversation. Maybe. Yeah, it's called a wrapper. Hold on. What's wrapper in the context of AI? An AI wrapper is a software application that sits on top of a foundational AI model. Like it uses the model API to handle a specific task. Yeah, adding a adding a custom user interface, specialized prompts, and extra work. Yeah. Yeah, basically what I built is a wrapper. Jason Hermick says no. I don't know. I've been calling it a harness, what I built, but this fits the definition. Do the side quests. What are the side quests? API, extra tools. This is actually exactly what I'm doing. It is definitely a wrapper because I have a lot of tools. Like one of the things, for example, in the Rocket Chimp website that I built, uh, brevity is built in. So, because you're not designing stuff on my website, so might as well have this heavy compression just take place all the time. But also, like, extra tools is not a harness. Extra tools like put like the browser tool, right? So it will go and it will browse using, what is it, Tivoli, I think it's called. It'll go browse and it'll find recent information. So that's a feature that's built in. Do you go to school? No, I graduated school. St. Mary's University in Canada, in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I have a degree in economics, major in economics, minor in psychology. Somewhat like the AI tutor I made. Yeah, it's basically like a tutor. The point of Rocket Chimp is just to make it so that you have like an AI that you can talk to, and it doesn't do trading for you and stuff. But the first, like, here's the thing, like, everything changed so quickly. When I started, it was supposed to be helping you build algorithms, like trading bots. But then MT5 released the MCP, and now it simply does not make sense for Rocket Chimp to be that. And so I had to pivot, because no matter what I do with a wrapper, it's going to be an inferior product. So now it's basically just teaching you and helping you to understand all the things that's going on, like different strategies. So just because like you have that MCP connection doesn't mean you're going to build a good algorithm. You need strategies. You need to know the definitions, the different types of strategies. You need relevant information like news, basically. And then also you need live information, like connected to all these different quotas, which I guess the MCP, that last one, already offers as well. And so Rocket Chip does that. What do you do for a living? I have the company, basically this company. And I was teaching skateboarding and I had a previous company selling skateboards and teaching skateboarding. So like this wouldn't work if I didn't have subsidies and I wasn't in Kuwait. I'm from Kuwait. Living with my parents. That's the situation. But it's enough. Like, it worked out. Sold a bunch of skateboards and taught a bunch of kids skateboarding. You can see the YouTube channel. Check this out. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the channel. So if you go to Yusuf B. There. What do you do to buy this setup? We need to start somewhere to gain. Here, isn't it? What do you mean? What I do to buy the setup, by subsidies, selling, like I said, skateboards, mostly subsidies. I'm from Kuwait. It's a different experience. If you are from Kuwait, here's the thing. If you're from Kuwait and you are an employee, you are entitled to get subsidized by the government depending on the degree that you hold. So what the government does, because they want to incentivize Kuwaiti people to be smart, basically, is they'll say if you meet the GPA requirement, we'll pay for you to go to university. And I met the GPA requirement. So I went to University Canada, basically, and I graduated. And then I got a certificate, basically, saying, okay, you have this degree. Now, depending on the different degrees, and the government sets those degrees, the highest one, obviously, petroleum engineer, because that's like the biggest thing for our economy. Second highest tier is like economist, like people who do, that's mine, lawyers, accountants, a bunch of other ones. But this second highest tier, if you are employed, they give you a little extra, basically, to whatever your salary is. Now, what's the loophole? You can go and you can just start your own company. Now, if you start your own company, you are an employee of yourself, which means so long as I break even, I'm technically net positive. And so I don't have a lot of money, but because I'm like living with my parents, I'm not paying rent. Alhamdulillah, like it's a good situation. I can just save aggressively. You know what I mean? Very aggressively. And then buy over a long duration of time as the money comes in, cool things and take very nice care of my things. Take that and then couple it with the fact that I'm teaching skateboarding. I was selling skateboards. I do have like some sources of income. I take opportunities like an entrepreneur, like a mini one. Then I can really help boost with me making money. I peaked with skateboarding at 120 KD. Wait, 15, 120 KD a week. 120 KD a week. I'll show you from the lessons. 120 KD into USD. This was my absolute peak. Again, it's not a lot, but per week, almost $400. And like the amount of time that I was spending was not a lot. I was teaching 2 lessons a day, 5 days a week. I need to go buy. Oh, I just saw that. If you're still here, buy. Here is Turkey. We need to start somewhere to gain. Here is it. Oh. No, Turkey's great. I've been to Turkey a lot of times. What do you mean? Like here, as in here's Turkey is not the place to start to gain? Is that what you mean? No, I don't think it. Like in this world, you can start anywhere. Like if you have a camera like this and a voice, and you put your stuff online, talk to anyone. You can find your niche anywhere. Right now, for me, it's Indonesia. Why Indonesia? I have no idea. But to all my Indonesians out there, thank you for following me and subscribing. I'm in Kuwait. We're very far away from each other, but you've been my biggest supporters. Thank you. What do you recommend to me? I'm 17 years old. Well, start by don't listen too much to people on the internet. Listen to your own family. When you got a laptop. Yeah. I don't know if I'm in the position to give advice, but I'll say this. Everyone has different circumstances. Everyone has to look at their own cards. Like if I listen to the people online, I wouldn't have found that loophole that I told you about with my it's not really a loophole, it's just the way that things are with my society, right? My government, my opportunities, things that they're my cards, you know what I mean? I can do things with it. If I go pretend like I'm like someone else, especially someone online, and I try to do what they're doing, I'm probably not going to do as good as a job as them. But if I look at my situation selfishly, like I just consider myself, then I'm probably going to have a better strategy in the long run, right? Nobody knows you the way you know yourself, which is why you probably know what to avoid better than other people. The only other people, by the way, who know you are your parents, probably. I would say, yeah. Plus, you're 17. You're not exactly at the full age of self-awareness, if that makes sense. Think about it like this. If you're 17, like I'm going to say something that's probably going to humble you a lot, okay? Which is a good thing. You know, when you speak to, like, when you're a teenager and you speak to someone who's like in the single digits, like 9 years old, okay? And what does it feel like when they speak? It's very difficult for you to take them seriously because you've been there, you've done that, you see through them, this child. You just know their intentions. They're extremely predictable to you. Okay, when you speak to your parents or somebody at that age up there, like in 35, 40, when they speak to you as a 17-year-old, that's how they see you because they've been there and they've done that. Okay? Which is why, especially if it's your family, like your parents, and they give you advice, and that advice is just horrible, and you genuinely, like, your gut is telling you this is wrong, I don't want to do this, zoom out and think about it. Like, who's wrong in this situation? Why? Maybe my brain actually isn't fully developed. Maybe I should listen to them. And that's like my only advice is don't listen to me, listen to them. Got a thumbs up, Andre. How's that? Yeah. If they say, if the parents tell you to listen to me, then go build the websites using AI. All right. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, play your own cards always. One of the things I really want to do is build we'll go back to the quarantine thing in a bit, but since we're here, is build like a little app that helps me to stream by basically giving me keywords of things that are relevant, like trending and topics that I'm talking about. Because, like, for example, we learned the word rapper, or I guess I did. The rapper, right? It's something I heard before. It's not a very difficult term, but I just didn't have it in my, like, it wasn't there in my thought. But it was extremely relevant, and it was something worth discussing. The difference between a wrapper and a harness, and what my product is, a wrapper. And throughout building my product, I never thought of it as a wrapper. But had that word been suggested, you know, and I have like a little thing on my monitor suggesting that word, probably we could be talking about the correct things all the time. And that could be programmed, right? Especially with a large language model like OpenRouter, Connect OpenRouter, which is just a provider. It's an aggregator, which means it gives you access to all the different large language models, and then you pay one place, and then you get this model or that model, and you choose whichever one. And then you just kind of set that up in a way where it just hunts keywords based on what the mic says or what I'm saying into the mic. So I got the mic here, right? I'm speaking, and as I'm speaking, it goes into OBS, but also goes into like this little app that I built, which goes and then finds the important terms, I should say, statistically relevant to like what is being said to Google, basically algorithm. So I can talk about the things that'll help me rank, but also contextually relevant, not just statistically relevant. Contextually relevant to the topics that I am discussing, so that we stay on, the correct, or I guess the idea, and we stay on track. Yeah, on track. That's a nice idea. I'll build it. Definitely will. All right. Back to the quarantine thing. I think I'm gonna continue the bulk of the work of the quarantine thing off stream, because it is about security, cybersecurity, and stuff like that. And there's a chance that it'll show sensitive information. But I can still show the bev and the plan before I run it. I'm back. You're back. Nice. Well, I hope you didn't miss everything I said. Tried sending WhatsApp message to barbers to sell website, but no one returned to me. Entrepreneur. What do people want in Turkey? Start there. I guess, and everywhere, not just Turkey. Centralizing test success. So this is success for my quarantine or arena skill, which is basically I'm able to download any repo that I want without having, if it's a bad repo, having it compromise stuff for me. And it'll be done with two things. One, this is my thought before I read success. One is it'll check for bugs, it'll check for bad things, but more importantly, it'll be in a quarantined area, so that even if there's malicious code, it doesn't, expose me. So now let's read what success is. Untrusted GitHub repositories can be fetched, inspected, and run entirely inside a strong, isolated quarantine environment on this PC, never touching the host's files, secrets, or projects. With a plain English risk triage, the owner can read an owner-gated path that brings vetted code onto the main drive only as a pristine copy of exactly what was inspected, and one-step recovery that returns the quarantine to a known clean state. Nice. Constraints woven into the purpose, outcome level, not method. The host stays as free and unencrypted as today. Yeah, nothing crosses from quarantine to host as a side effect. Yeah, that's basically it. I want to block off my system and just keep it open. Like I can go put things on my desktop, whatever. But then whenever I download anything that I don't know, it goes into the quarantine. And then I can download anything that I don't know and be free. What do you do to earn online? Well, I don't earn online. I just started. Hopefully soon I will. I didn't see what your company does. I sold skateboards and taught, actually taught. I had a website called Skate Academy, okay? And this is where the majority of the money that I made with my first company came from. One is I'll show you. This is if you really want to make money, this is the kind of stuff you need to do that nobody talks about. Are you ready? This is the greatest investment in my lifetime. This is a lamination machine. This is those machines, okay? It's a cheap version of them, I guess, but it's fine. It's more than good enough. You take the paper, okay? I have some of those papers there. Hold on. You take paper, okay? You put it through this here. Like you put it in here, okay? Close it, and then you put it through the machine, and then you get like a really nice, sturdy curriculum. Basically, I wrote a curriculum for skateboarding, and I said, this is what I'm going to teach your kids. I color coded it. I made it look really nice, and I actually have the skill of skateboarding, and I skated. And then I took the skate park, which wasn't on Google Maps, and I put it on Google Maps. And I'll show you. Exactly what I mean by that. I think I can even show you on my Google Maps. This is entrepreneurship. I'm telling you, this is. As I was done, I put. I want to show you how many views I got because I took the pictures that I put on. Look at this. 155K views. This is my Google Maps account. How many views do you have on your Google Maps account? Do you even have a Google? I mean, everyone does really. But Yeah, then the place basically became a place on Google, like a business place, even though it's just it wasn't tech. I didn't make it a business place. I just put images, and I put my website, which I created called skateacademykw.com. I removed it because I kind of stopped with that, and I put my phone number. And now I'm getting client calls from people who are genuinely interested in skateboarding, specifically for their kids. Okay, and so I'm getting these calls, and I'm showing up with like a laminated piece of paper, curriculum, color coded, telling them exactly what I offer, and I'm saying like the correct things. I'm saying like, okay, the objective is to make sure that your kid can actually not get injured and still fall and learn how to fall, and they can take the risk because this is a risky sport, but be very aware of it. And for the kid, they just want to skate, right? But the parent, they're thinking, this can actually be valuable in addition to fun, which the kid already wants to skate, right? And so now I have a good product, which is very easy. It's just like coaching, right? And then I was coaching, and that was me making money. Now, where's the actual boost that made this good enough for me for a long time? Is who are they gonna buy from? The skateboard, the gear, okay, and then also the upgrades as they upgrade their skateboards. Me. And so that's what my first company was. I started a company for selling wholesale and retail trade. I bought a bunch of like helmets, knee pads, all the gear, everything, skateboards, wheels, bearings, trucks, uh, grip tape, everything. And I was just selling stuff, and teaching. See what Jason. Just use a remote VM, still can access your network, and some type of viruses can bypass it. I mean, don't trust an AI for hardware security. It can do good for web, but not hardware. I don't do Google Maps, businessman. So you made a ghost location and redirect it to yourself. No, no, not a ghost. It was legit. It's a real location. It's a skate park. It just wasn't on Google Maps for some reason. Moral of the story. Moral of the story is, nobody would have told me to do that in that way, and it's just not a thing that was popular. But that was the way that it was successful. So even though, like, if you go online, you get the same playbook from everyone, which is build a website, go find somebody who doesn't know anything about websites and pitch them that they need a website, and they don't have a website, and they really do need a website. But think about it. That person who doesn't have a website, who doesn't care about websites, even if they genuinely do need a website, and you go pitch them like, "Hey, I'll give you this website," they're probably gonna say no. I don't need, my business is running. Why do I need a website? I'm surviving. And chances are they're gonna lose their business before they accept that they need a website. And so that's why I'm saying to you, you need to be creative. Like, genuinely, you need to think about it. The biggest creative move was that machine. You show up with a laminated piece of paper, it doesn't die. That laminated piece of paper stays. And then the parent can also go and show another parent that this laminated piece of paper, right? And to this day, I get calls, literally to this day, even though it's been 2 years since I shut down that site. Like, hey, Coach Yusuf, do you still teach? And I still do. Why not? I'll make some money. So I mean, I only got networking and server skills, not real life. That's what I'm saying. No, that's a symptom of being 17. Don't worry. Trust me. Like it happens. You just over time you get real life. Oh, I forgot about this. I was gonna move it so I can have like a clean stream. It was here the whole time. Actually, it kind of looks good. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so the one thing I want to add now is the fixed map. Earlier, Lego Geek was commenting and telling to check fixed map, and we talked about it. We talked about fixed map. And what I want to do, really, is I want to add... I want to upgrade this bev, this bird's eye view, basically this plan, so that it folds in fixed map and writes a report. So let me write that prompt real quick, and then we'll reread the success centralizing text, and we'll see what happens. And I'll probably run that later tonight because it'll take a while to run. Maybe we can check tomorrow. I got marine engineer, like water. Marine engineer. Oh, like for the when you say marine, do you mean like soldier? What are you working on now? Now I'm just doing like let me write this prompt and I'll tell you. Maybe you can see it from the prompt. How can we fold in the fixed map deterministic, basically free bug finder plus other features from fixed map into this okay, into this. I'll just say into this. I'll say my vision imagination. I imagine that installing a repo into the arena / quarantine zone can always produce a clean pastel style report rating the repo, or ranking, yeah. Ranking the repo, and giving me an honest and comprehensive breakdown of the code within it before it ever touches my main drives. Yeah, that's basically it. Now I'll explain. Well, this shows a suggest an approach. Don't fold it into the bev just yet. All right, let me explain. Let me read. Bro, you're using $100 on that sub. You should get successful. I hope. Yeah. So what I'm building now, what I'm building now basically is a quarantine zone. You kind of got it. I can see in the chat like earlier. You know what I'm trying to do. But I also want it to be a report. So think of it like this. Basically, I get a report every time I want to install a repo. So someone suggests, someone online, like in the chat, says, download this repo. And let's say I'm making it like on YouTube. And then someone's like, oh, okay, let's, for drama or for fun, whatever, get him to download this malicious code. Especially if it's like a programmer who hates vibe coders, which I know this type exists, like, right? And then he comes and he says, download this repo. And he's like, I'm going to get you. I have a friend who's like this. I showed him my website, and then he messaged me. He's like, I was really hoping that I could find vulnerabilities. He's my friend, right? But if he wasn't my friend, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna show you his name, but I'm gonna show you like, the message. Yeah, he didn't find vulnerabilities. Mm. This is how everyone should use their phone, like this. Yeah, I can't find it. Long story short, that was kind of a letdown. I'm sorry. Long, long story short, yeah, there's definitely people out there who may be malicious, and I just want like a quick, cheap way to verify that it's okay, that we're good. That was me 5 months ago, but tech evolves. We need to adapt so I don't code for 3 months straight. I don't get it. What do you mean don't code for 3 months? Adapt with the code, I guess. Okay. But it does adapt extremely, extremely quick. My website, my website got repurposed basically. I had to. You have to adapt like that. Okay. Mechanics, least resistance. So that's something that I always like, is just the least resistance, quickly do things. The concept, an arena dossier. One pastel report per quarantined repo. Yeah. The dossier section. Identity card. Claim resolution. That's basically where this fits in. Sensitive area map. So it goes looks for sensitive areas. Okay. Flag triage. I don't know exactly what this triage thing is though. You want checklist? Flags. Post installs hooks. Base 64 blob. I got used to the glasses. They're blue light glasses. Each flag enriched with fixed maps ranking. Okay, so that's the triage. It's just fixed map doing things like this. Fixed map test routes. Whether the repo has. So this is verifiability. Just check everything's good. Repo ranking. So there's a score that gets given that I can read, so it's quick. And diagnostics. Okay. The verdict. Vocabulary stays exactly as the bev freezes. So this is just about the bev. It's saying, do we freeze it? Like, are we good with this? Mechanics, least resistance, everything runs in guest. Yeah, only text crosses. Yeah, so this is just mechanics of adding it. What stays out? Named honesty. Actual bug finding, logic errors, vulnerabilities, malicious cleverness is not this design because no deterministic tool delivers it. The dossier natural extension slot in section 8. An optional arena deep pass where I read the quarantine code through the bridge and append model judgment findings clearly labeled as judgment, not measurement. Yeah. Yeah, no, it falls in pretty nicely. All right. Let's fold it in. Ensure that it does not compromise the existing idea of success, meaning that this is an additive. This is a primarily additive fold in, an additive fold in, because I already really like the current bev. Yeah, I'm making too many spelling mistakes. I need to get better at that. I think that's pretty much it for this stream. I do want to work on the actual security and building of this not online, but more importantly, it takes, or not more importantly, just in general, it takes a while for these bevs to complete. So it doesn't make sense to run the bev now and then just sit here waiting. Probably later when I run the bev, I'm just gonna leave it running, and then as it runs, or when it's done running, I can show everyone and probably use it a lot. And I didn't get what you work on. Yeah, quarantine environment, basically. Like think about it. Think about it like this. Okay, you download a new repository, so you download something new. Okay, now after you downloaded it, you or you download something specifically sketchy that somebody is still building, they're still working on, and they open source it, meaning anyone can go download it, make changes to it, and then there's a hacker, somebody malicious. Okay, this person comes in, does something on purpose to be able to steal stuff, right? And then puts it back online, and then you download it, and then they hack you and they take everything from you. Okay, what if there's a layer between when you download it, and when it lands on your computer, it lands somewhere else on your computer that's closed, a little closed area, a little circle closed area. It goes in this little closed circle area, and then you run a bunch of code against it to make sure it's safe, and then you get a report. If it's safe, or sorry, if the report says okay, it's good, chances are it's good, you know. Cool. We'll download it again, basically on the main one, and then this little circle area resets every once in a while. Just resets. It gets everything disappears inside of it. Anyway, so why is that important? Because what if it's not safe? Fine, nothing happened. Just it's gone anyway. So I get the report. It says don't, like, here's too many flags. There's too many vulnerabilities. Be careful. Okay, cool. I have this report. Now I can just click the button, and this sandbox area, Hyper-V, just dissipates. Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, this is, I hope that made sense. But this is the end of the stream, and been real. Thank you for commenting, to everyone who commented, everyone who joined the chat. Stay tuned. Probably going to show this off tomorrow. I'm going to go over the bev in a little bit more detail. I just want to make sure I get everything right. There's a lot. But it should be the same. Either way, if I do make any big changes, I'll let you know. And then when I do let you know, like, I'll say this is what changed, this is what changed, and I'll actually show you specifically what changed. If you ask me tomorrow. If not, probably we'll talk about other things. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What you will do, scan the files. This is more complex. Yeah, it is. It is. the dude from before, Lego Geek, sent, like, he has a GitHub repo, he has all these things, and I'm using his tool. I'm basically copying his tool, just throwing it in. His tool is called FixMap. That's what that is. But yeah. All right, bye, and thank you for leaving so many comments, actually, for the engagement.